Hello, everyone, and welcome back to our channel. Today, I want to share a powerful story with you. This story is simple, but the lesson is very important. It is about a young man, a small bakery, and a big dream. The title of the story is Nothing Comes Without Effort. If you are working hard for your dream, this story is for you. If life feels difficult now, this story is also for you. Let's begin. Ethan was 20 years old. He lived in a small town near the hills. The town was quiet and life was simple there. Most people knew each other. Ethan lived with his family in a small house. His father, David, was a mechanic. He fixed cars and old bikes. His mother, Anna, cleaned houses. She worked very hard every day. Ethan also had a little sister. Her name was Lily, and she was 10 years old. She loved Ethan very much. But Ethan's family was poor. They did not have much money. Sometimes they worried about food. Sometimes they worried about bills. Life was not easy. Still, Ethan had a dream. He wanted to build a business one day. He wanted to help his family. He wanted his parents to rest. He wanted Lily to have a better future. At night, Ethan often sat outside his house. He looked up at the stars and asked himself, how can I change our life? He did not have the answer yet, but he knew one thing. He could not give up. One morning, Ethan talked to his father. Dad, he said, I want to do something big one day. I wanted to help our family. I want to start a business. His father looked at him and said, that is a good dream, Ethan. But dreams are not free. You must work for them. Start with what you have. These words stayed in Ethan's mind. Later that day, Ethan walked through town. He looked at the streets, the people, and the small shops. He wanted to find a good idea. Then he noticed something important. People in town loved fresh bread, but there was no bakery nearby. They had to travel far to buy it. Ethan stopped walking. A new idea came into his mind. What if I bring fresh bread to this town, he thought. It sounded like a good plan, but there was one big problem. Ethan had no money. He could not buy the bread first. Still, he did not let the idea die. He made a bold choice. He decided to ask a baker for help. Early the next morning, Ethan walked to a bakery outside town. The road was long and the air was cold, but he kept walking. He knew this could be his first chance. At the bakery, he met the owner. He was older and serious. He did not smile much. He looked at Ethan and asked, what do you want? Ethan stood straight and said, Sir, my name is Ethan. I live in the next town. People there want fresh bread. I want to sell your bread in my town, but I do not have money now. Please give me 1 week. I will sell the bread, bring your money back, and keep a small profit. Mr. Bennett looked at him with hard eyes. Why should I trust you? He asked. Ethan took a deep breath. Because I will work hard, he said. I will not lie to you. I only need one chance. Mr. Bennett was quiet for a moment. Then he said, all right, I will give you bread for 1 week. But if you do not pay me back, do not come here again. Ethan was so happy. He thanked Mr. Bennett and carried the bread all the way back to town. The basket was heavy and his arms hurt, but he did not stop. When he got to the park, he set up a small stand and called out, fresh bread! Warm and tasty bread. At first, people only looked. They were not sure, so Ethan gave them small free pieces to taste. Soon people started buying. One woman bought 2 loaves. Then another customer came. By the end of the day, Ethan had sold all the bread. That night, he walked back to the bakery and gave the money to Mr. Bennett. The old baker counted it, looked at Ethan, and gave a small nod. You kept your word, he said. Come back tomorrow. That was the beginning. From that day on, Ethan worked every single day. He woke up at 4 a.m. He walked to the bakery before sunrise, carried bread back to town, and sold it all day with a smile. The work was hard. His feet hurt. His back hurt. Some days were cold and some days were rainy. Some days he sold a lot, but some days he sold very little. Still, Ethan kept going. He learned how to speak to customers. He learned how to be friendly and patient. He learned that people liked warm bread, fair prices, and honest service. After 2 months, Ethan saved enough money to buy a small cart. Now he could carry more bread, and that helped him sell more. People in town started to know him well. Some people smiled and said, "There's Ethan, the bread guy." One afternoon, an older customer said to him, "You are doing well. But why don't you make your own bread?" Ethan looked surprised. "My own bread?" he asked. "Yes," she said, "you are good at selling. But if you learn to bake, you can make more money." That idea stayed in Ethan's mind all night. It made him excited, but it also made him nervous. He had never baked bread before. Still, he understood something important. If he wanted to grow, he had to learn more. The next morning, Ethan asked Mr. Bennett, "Sir, can you teach me how to bake?" Mr. Bennett frowned. "Why would I do that?" he asked. "If you bake your own bread, you will stop buying from me." Ethan nodded. "That is true," he said. "But I will never forget what you did for me. You gave me my first chance. I respect you. If I succeed, I will always help you when I can." Mr. Bennett looked at him for a long moment. Then he said, "Baking is not easy. It takes time, patience, and hard work. Are you ready?" "Yes, sir," Ethan said. So the lessons began. Ethan came to the bakery at 3 a.m. Mr. Bennett showed him everything step by step. He taught him about flour, water, yeast, and salt. He showed Ethan how to mix the dough, knead it, wait for it, shape it, and bake it. At first, Ethan was terrible. Some loaves were too hard. Some were too soft. Some were too dark. Some looked very ugly. His hands hurt from kneading, and his clothes were covered with flour. One morning, Ethan ruined another batch of bread. He sat down in a corner and looked at it with tired eyes. "Maybe I can't do this," he whispered. "Maybe I am not good enough." But then he remembered his father's words, "Dreams are not free." So he stood up again. The next day he came back. Then the next day and the next. He watched carefully. He listened carefully. He made mistakes, but he learned from them. After 2 weeks, Mr. Bennett picked up a fresh loaf and cut it open. He looked at Ethan and said, "This one is good, very good. You are ready." Ethan smiled as he held the loaf in his hands. He had worked hard for that moment. Ethan rented a small oven and brought it home. It was old, but it worked. Then he started baking there. Now his family could see how serious he was. Anna made tea for him at night. Lily helped put bread into bags. David helped fix tools and move heavy things. Soon, Ethan was not only making bread, he also made cookies and sweet rolls. Later, he tried simple pastries. The kitchen was always busy. It was full of heat, wonderful smells, and hope. People loved Ethan's products. Some customers said, "His bread is always fresh." Others said, "His cookies are really good." Every day, Ethan tried to improve. He woke up before sunrise. He baked, cleaned, sold, counted money, and planned for the next day. He was tired all the time, but he was happy. Little by little, he saved more money. Little by little, his name became stronger in town. For the first time in his life, Ethan felt that his dream was truly moving forward. But success does not stay easy for long. One day, a new bakery opened in town. It was owned by a young man named Ryan. His shop was bright and modern. It had colorful signs and pretty cakes in the window. People were curious, so many of them went inside. Soon, Ethan noticed fewer customers at his cart. He felt worried. What if I lose everything? He thought. For one day, he felt scared and quiet. But after that, he made a choice. He would not complain. He would learn. So he asked his customers, "What do you like about Ryan's bakery?" Some people said, "His shop looks clean and beautiful." And others said, "His cakes are very pretty." Ethan listened carefully. He did not get angry. He did not speak badly about Ryan. He only wanted to understand. Then he used his savings in a smart way. He painted his cart. He added bright decorations. He made signs with clear prices. He offered free samples again. He also went to the library and watched baking videos on old computers. He studied simple cake design and practiced at home. At first, his cakes looked funny, but slowly they got better. Little by little, customers returned. One evening, an older woman smiled at Ethan and said, "Many young people give up when life gets hard. But not you. That is why we trust you." Her words touched Ethan deeply. He understood that being strong in hard times was just as important as being talented. Months passed. Ethan worked hard and saved money. At last, he had enough to rent a small shop. It was not big and it was not fancy, but it was his. He cleaned the walls, fixed the floor, painted the front door, and put up a sign. Ethan's Morning Oven. The shop felt warm and friendly. Every morning it smelled like fresh bread. People loved that. Now Ethan had a real place to welcome customers. Lily stood near the front and greeted people with a cheerful voice. Anna kept the money records. David repaired shelves and tools when needed. The little bakery became part of the town's daily life. Workers stopped by before their jobs. Children came after school for cookies. Older people sat and talked while drinking tea. Ethan smiled often, but inside he stayed focused. He knew this was not the end. It was only another step. He still had bigger dreams. He wanted the bakery to grow. He wanted to make his family proud. He wanted to prove that a poor young man could build something strong with honest work. For a while, life felt bright. Then one terrible night changed everything. It was a stormy evening. The wind pushed hard against the windows and rain hit the roof. Ethan was getting ready to close the shop when he smelled something strange. Smoke. He turned quickly and saw a fire near the oven. "Fire!" he shouted. He grabbed water and tried to stop it. He moved as fast as he could. At last, the flames were out, but the damage was done. Some machines were burned, some tools were ruined. Part of the kitchen was black with smoke. The next morning, people gathered outside the bakery. "Oh no," one person said. "What will Ethan do now?" asked another. Ethan stood in front of his shop. His heart felt heavy. He wanted to cry. He wanted to sit down and do nothing. But he did not. "This is not the end," he said to himself. "I started with almost nothing before. I can start again." He checked his savings, but it was not enough. Fear entered his heart. Still, he moved forward. He went to visit Mr. Bennett, who had now retired. "Sir," Ethan said, "I need your advice. My bakery is damaged. I don't know what to do." Mr. Bennett looked at him kindly and said, "You do know what to do. You have already learned the lesson. Nothing comes without effort. Work again. Believe in yourself. Others will believe in you too." Those words gave Ethan strength. So he did not wait for someone to rescue him. He took the tools that still worked. He baked at home again. He made smaller amounts, but he kept serving people. He told his customers, "I am not giving up. I will keep going." The people in town saw his courage. They saw his effort. Some gave flour, sugar, and butter. Some gave small amounts of money. Some came to help clean and repair the bakery. Ethan felt deeply moved. He learned another lesson. When people see that you truly help yourself, many of them want to help too. For months, Ethan worked harder than ever. Day by day, the bakery came back. At last, the day came. Ethan reopened his bakery. It looked better than before. The walls were fresh and bright. The shelves were new. The kitchen had stronger tools. Ethan also added new items like cupcakes, muffins, and small cream cakes. People were excited. The shop was full on reopening day. The mayor of the town came too. He shook Ethan's hand and said, "You are an example for all of us. You never gave up." Ethan stood in front of the crowd. He looked at his family, his old teacher, and the people from town. Then he spoke. "Thank you," he said. "Thank you for believing in me. Thank you for helping me. I learned that nothing important in life is free. Success is not free. Respect is not free. A better life is not free. We must earn these things with hard work, patience, and courage." The crowd clapped for him. From that day on, Ethan's morning oven was more than a bakery. It became a symbol of hope. People from other towns came to visit. They wanted to meet the young man who started with almost nothing and never gave up. Ethan never forgot his journey. He never forgot the long walks, the heavy baskets, the burned loaves, the fear, the fire, and the pain. But he also never forgot the kindness, the lessons, and the strength he found inside himself. His story taught people many things. Dreams need action. Failure can teach us. Hard work builds skill. Problems can make us stronger, and giving up is never the only choice. Ethan did not become successful overnight. He built his life step by step. He paid for his dream with effort, time, mistakes, and courage. That is why his success was real. So if you have a dream, do not wait for life to become easy. Start small. Learn every day. Work with heart. Stand up after every fall. Remember this, nothing comes without effort. But with effort, many things are possible. Thank you for listening to this story. I hope it gives you hope, courage, and strength. If you like this story, please like, share, and subscribe. And tell me in the comments, what is your dream and what are you doing to reach it? See you in the next story.